First and foremost, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. This hasn't been a quick launch, but today I've got something really special to share with you. Something that I've been working tirelessly on behind the scenes. It's a project that combines all the best productivity techniques into one incredible practical Notion dashboard, designed to supercharge your productivity. In the background, as I've been putting out free templates, I've been testing out different features and functions to see what's actually helpful. Not a dashboard filled with clutter to bump up the price, but something with great utility and usefulness. Plus, to ensure that I've made something special, I made a full beta walkthrough video to get your feedback, and it was absolutely amazing. Whether you're a student, a professional, or someone looking to get more done and achieve your goals, this dashboard will be your secret to efficiency. It's like having a productivity sidekick that ensures you're on top of all the important projects you have, ensures you're working on the most vital tasks throughout the day, organizes your life, and is a hub for every random note or resource that you have. Now, I know this is a bit of a change from my usual free templates, and I want to be completely transparent with you about that and why I'm making this transition. Creating these templates and maintaining the channel takes a lot of time and effort, and while I'm committed to continuing to provide free content, offering this paid template will allow me to keep doing what I love and delivering even more value to you. Alright, let's dive into the full walkthrough and all the capabilities. So the topics I'll talk about are task management, project management, life bucket management, note-taking, resources, reflections, fast tracking your success, scheduling, and accessibility. Alright, let's start with task management. So I've tried to combine all the best productivity techniques that I actually use into a template that you're actually going to use and stick with. So I've been using it and it works really well for me. Obviously this here is a blank template, but I'll show you how it works. All right, let's start with adding a task. Now there's a few different ways to do that. We can either click on one of these buttons. This is just creating a task. This is creating a quick task, so something that takes about 5 minutes. And this is creating something that's urgent and important. Or we can add it straight into my day today. So let's say record HQ video, and I can fill in these different properties here, which work together to actually sort out my to-do list for me. That way I can see what's the most important thing I have to do, and what are the things that I don't have to worry about so much. Record HQ video, this is very important, this is very urgent, and the state requires a flow state. I really need to have a deep focus when doing this task. Now for bucket, this goes under my business, so I'll click on business. And then for project, we have a template project, which I'll get to later, but we're going to create a new one here. So let's call it a headquarters template. I'm just going to click on new headquarters template. So now that's been created. So I can click here and go straight into the project if I want. But as you can see, it's also been added here. So in this view here, we can see all the tasks that haven't been completed. In this view here, we can see all the tasks, whether they're completed or not. And then here we have a full view of my month, whether they're completed or not as well. So in the beta walkthrough video, I had a checkbox here that was easily accessible. However, it got a bit too messy, having all of these different properties show up for every single item. So now when you're done with a task, you click on it and you click on tick. And now as you can see, it got removed from here. But if we go to all this week, we can see it right here. So if you ever want to untick it, you just click there and it's back in here. If you want to take notes on the specific task, you can do that by clicking on it and taking the notes down here. All right, here's my favorite part of the template. We have the task list. Now, the way this works, I'll just show you the filters. We actually have sorting to show urgency, importance, and the date, and we're only seeing tasks that haven't been done. So here, as we build up, let's add a few examples. All right, we've got example task 1 to 5. So let's say example task 1 has high importance, high urgency, and it's very quick to do. Now, example 2 task, let's say it's not important, and it is urgent though, and it's an easy task. It only takes about 30 minutes or so. And then for example, task 3, let's say it's important, and let's say it's urgent. Now, as you'll see, it's actually going to move up in the list here. So what's happening is this database is organizing my tasks for me. That way I know to focus on my important and urgent tasks first. This has changed the way that I work, because now I can see what do I actually have to do first, instead of just doing tasks randomly throughout the day and not realizing if they're actually a priority or not. Let's add another one. Let's say this is important, but it's not urgent. And then this one, let's say not important, not urgent. Now, as you can see, you don't have to fill out bucket and projects, but I'll show you later on why it's actually really helpful. The long story short is you'll actually see this task here, record HQ video, on the business page and on the headquarters template page. That way, if you're working on your business, for example, and you want to see all the tasks that you have to do just relating to the business, then all you have to do is click on the business page and all those tasks will show up. Likewise, for the projects, you can see every single task related to this project on this page selected. Now, as an example, let's say example task 3 is actually not important and not urgent. I'll just open this up. And now I'll change this to not urgent and not important. And as you can see, it's jumped down this list here, and example task 3 is near the bottom. So that's why this is called order. It's actually putting everything in order of priority for you, which is just so helpful. Then these tabs here are pretty self-explanatory. In quick, we're only seeing things that are a quick item to do, so like a 5-minute task. In flow, we're only seeing things that require deep focus or being in flow state. Under easy, we're seeing 30-minute tasks, things that aren't too cognitively demanding. So a change that I've made from the beta video is adding personal. And I actually got rid of delegation. So I realized a lot of people won't be delegating, but everyone will have personal stuff, so it's more important to do that. So I can add a personal task, have coffee with Gary. Then we have the low priority tasks, so that's things that are not urgent and not important. We have a full list of everything that doesn't have a date assigned to it. Then we have tasks by bucket, so we can see that record HQ is under the business bucket, and none of these have been assigned a bucket. So let's just say example task 1 belongs under study. Let's say example task 2 belongs to family and friends. Example task 4, let's say that's fitness. Task 5, let's say admin. Task 3, relationship. And then coffee with Gary as family and friends. So why do we want to break down tasks by bucket? Well, the reason is your brain gets really tired from context switching all day. All that means is basically your brain finds it really difficult to go from thinking about admin to then thinking about your business to then thinking about family and friends to then going back to thinking about your business to then thinking about study to then back to business. Basically, constantly switching back and forth on topics and things that you're thinking about make you tired. So what does this mean in a practical sense? Well, let's say I have a bunch of different tasks under business. Redesign banner, and rewrite sales copy. So let's say I'm sitting down to work and I can see here, okay, today I want to record the HQ video. Well, I've got time to do a few other tasks. And to avoid context switching, what I can do is go down here and actually drag these tasks in here. So now I can see I have redesigned banner, and let's drag in rewrite sales copy. Now the reason they're blank underneath here is because we don't have a state of mind or a project associated with them. So to change that, we can just click on the task. We can change urgency, let's say it's urgent. Importance, let's say it's important. State of mind, rewriting sales copy, that's a flow state. Bucket, that's under my business. Project, that's my headquarters template. And then we have minutes and time, which I'll get to. Do the same thing for redesign banner, urgency, important, state of mind, bucket, and project. For this template to work best, I really recommend filling these things out: urgency, importance, state, bucket, and project. That way you have access to this on all the necessary pages, and the database can actually do its sorting for you. It might take a second to do, but it actually saves you a lot of time in the future because you have everything in the place that you need to find it. And then here under everything, we also can just see every single task. All right, so let's have a look at the projects database. Basically, we have incomplete projects, overdue, projects by bucket, favorites, finished, archived, and all projects. So here we're basically seeing stuff that's either got a deadline, it's one of your favorites, or it's an ongoing project. So something that doesn't have an end. So under the no status section here, we can see the headquarters template. We can click on that and change it to deadline. I can also add the deadline for when I want it to come out. And as you can see, that shows up here. So let's say this didn't have a deadline, but it's one of my favorite projects that I'm working on. I can just change this to fave, and then it will come up here. So these other tabs are overdue. So this has a simple filter where basically if the deadline is before today, it will show up. Then we have projects by buckets. So we can see the headquarters template doesn't have a bucket associated with it. So if we click on that and we'll say my life bucket, this goes under business. I click that, and as you can see, it's now under the business toggle. Under favorites, we're just seeing things that have been labeled as a favorite. Under finished, we're just seeing things that have either been completed or moved the needle. More on this later. Then we have archived with a template here, which I'll get to. And then we have all projects where basically you can see everything with no filters or sort, just in case you feel like something's missing and you want to find it. So let's get back to this template here. There's actually two ways of adding a new project. You can either click on new and then click on new project. This will then load in all of this, as you can see. So I'll just open this up and explain how it works. In here, when you've clicked on new, all you have to do is change the filter to whatever this new project is called. So let's say this new project is called website build. You can now change this rule to where project contains website build. Do the same thing for this tab, the notes, archived, bottlenecks, and resolved bottlenecks. So it takes about 30 seconds to do, but now you can see every single task that's related to this project. You can see every single note that you've taken that's related to this project, and you can see every single bottleneck, more on that later, that's related to this project. So I'll just delete this sentence here. So this project here is the website build. So we can obviously change this icon. Let's just do a little computer. We can add the life bucket that it's related to, so that's business. We can add a deadline, change the status. Obviously it's not archived. Let's say this is favorite, it doesn't have a deadline associated with it. So when I'm working on the website build and I want to see anything related to this, all I have to do is go onto this page and then I have everything that I need. Now I'll just go back here and show you how the other template works. So that was the first way of doing it, clicking on new and then selecting this template here, new project. Or the easier way to do it is to just duplicate this. So it's sitting in your archived, just make sure you don't delete it. So what you can do here is duplicate, and then let's call this renovate kitchen. Now what automatically happens in the background, the filters automatically get changed. So project contains renovate kitchen, this one here, project contains renovate kitchen, project contains renovate kitchen, and then the same thing for this, project contains renovate kitchen. So then all of a sudden, it took me not even a second. So I really recommend keeping this template here, and then all you have to do is duplicate and then call it whatever you want. Then automatically, all of the settings are set up for it. So that's how the projects is set up, and we can see how it interacts with the task database, and all of these tasks from up here are coming into this view here. So let's talk about the notes section now. So we have access to the quick notes here in the workspaces, and here we can take notes, so fix the cabinet. And then let's say we want this to relate to renovate kitchen. Bucket, this is probably an admin thing, and then it sits in here in quick notes. But the more likely use case is you'll be using this button up here. So up here we have take a quick note. All you have to do is click here, and then this will get automatically added to the quick notes page, and it will get automatically added to the projects that we set up before. So renovate kitchen, let's say paint the wall, and then topics of interest, we can add one here as well. So yes, there's a template, which I'll get to that as well. So my interest is interior design. Then I'll click here to add that as a new one. And then for life bucket, this also belongs under admin. So then here, if I have a quick note, it would be cool to paint the wall blue. Now when I click away, it's gone here. So that's just a really quick way to take a note, and resources work similarly, but I'll get to that later. So now let's say I want to view that note that I just took. Well, there's a few different places we can find it. We can find it under quick notes, so you can see here, paint the wall, and this icon here just means that there's information inside of it, so it would be cool to paint the wall blue. Then where else would we want to find it? Well, we would want to find it under renovate kitchen. So renovate kitchen, should it be in archives? This is a fave, so I'll click that. As you can see, it gets removed from archive, and then if we go to incomplete, it's sitting here under fave, renovate kitchen. So if I click on that and scroll down, as you can see here, I can also see paint the wall. So now when I'm taking notes throughout the day, I don't actually have to go into the specific pages, I can just quickly add the note and then forget about it. So not only do we want to see it on the quick notes page, we want to see it on this page, but we also want to see it on the admin page. So to get to the admin page, we can do one of two things. We can scroll down and click on admin, or when we were in here, we can actually click just directly on this link. Now you can see admin opens up. So I'll make this full page, and here you can see example task number 5, because it's related to admin. We can see paint the wall because that's related to admin, and we can see our fave here, renovate kitchen, because that's related to admin. So I hope you can see how everything is connecting together. It just makes working really, really easy. You're not getting distracted by other projects or other areas in your life when you want to focus on a specific thing. All right, let's go back to headquarters. All right, now we want to see the quick note in one other place, and that's in what topic is it related to. So I filled out that I'm interested in interior design. So where can I find that? If I scroll down here and click on topics, we can actually see the topic interior design. So now if I click on that and click on new topic, as this was a new one, obviously if it was already filled out, it would be there. I can just click on the filter and change the rule to where topic of interest contains interior design, and change the quick note to have the same rule, interior design, and same with archived. So I'll make this full screen. So here in my topic of interest interior design, I can see all my resources, which I'll get to, relating to this interest, and all of the quick notes relating to this interest. So paint the wall, because that is to do with interior design. All right, speaking of, let's add a resource. So I'll just do a fake one. Let's say it's a course and it's called How to Interior Design. The topic of interest is interior design. The creator is Gary. The status is I want the course. The URL, I can add that here if there's a URL, and I can review it. Obviously, I haven't taken the course, so there's nothing to review. So I'll just click away. So let's say I want to find this. I can go into the resources page, click on that, and then in here, let's do this full screen. We can see under course webinar, want how to interior design. So this course is sitting right here. Let's say I start taking the course. I can switch it to currently. As you can see, it sits here under currently. And let's say I finish it. It swaps under here to finished. and it's a review of 4 stars. Alright, let's go back to the headquarters. And the other place we want to find it is obviously under topics. So if we click on topics, click on interior design, and then here we can see how to interior design by Gary is finished. So let's click away. Whilst we're on the topic of topics, I will show you how this works. It's the same idea as before, as I showed you with projects. We can either click on new and then select this template here, as we did before with interior design, or to make it easy, all we have to do is right click on template, do duplicate, and then let's change this template to productivity. Now, as you can see, automatically this filter gets changed to say contains productivity. And same thing for down here, filter automatically contains productivity. So it's just a lot easier to work that way because then you don't manually have to change it. But I gave you both options just in case you delete this template or you don't want it sitting in your topics. All right, let's go back to the headquarters. All right, let's go through how to plan your day. So this filter here, we are only seeing stuff that is relevant to today. So you can do a time blocking or time boxing or scheduling or whatever you want to call it right in here. So let's say I want to record the HQ video at 9 a.m., then rewrite the sales copy, let's say that's at 12, and redesign banner at 2. Then as I'm going, I can tick these off, and as you can see down here, they're actually being removed. So this is a really useful way to plan out your day. So you can plan out the day obviously however you want, but the reason that I'm showing the state of mind, so for this task flow, is actually so I can get a good balance. So I'll just untick these real quick. As you can see, I have 3 flow tasks here. So for me, I kind of had the expectation to do 2 flow tasks in a day, 2 easy tasks and 1 quick task. That's what I found for me to be a good balance. So when I'm planning out my day or my week or even my month, I can actually see, do I have too many things on that day that it's an unrealistic goal? So here I can see I have 3 flow tasks. This for me is a bit unrealistic. So now I know, you know what, I won't actually have time to probably rewrite the sales copy this day as well. I'll have to choose just 2 flow tasks. So this is my personal preference, obviously have whatever you want. But for me, I know this is an unrealistic goal for me. So I'm going to drag rewrite sales copy to this page here. So now I can see I have 2 flow tasks. So for me now I know, okay, I have space for probably an easy task and a quick task. So an easy task would be go through comments. So then I'll change this to it's urgent, however, it's maybe not that important. And I can see the state of mind is easy. It belongs under the bucket of business for me, and it doesn't have a specific project related to it, because it can be to do with any single of my templates. So I'll just leave that out, and then I'll click away. So as you can see here, there's a space here, and the reason for that is this is to do with projects. So then here on the month view, I can see we have an easy, a flow, and a flow, and if I go to the week's tasks, I can see here, easy, flow, and flow. And because it's all connected together, this will show up here, so here we can see easy right under here. So if I want, I can drag this around, I can do it before or after, whenever I want. Now, let's talk about time tracking. So up here, I actually have a minutes column. So the reason I have this isn't just tracking for tracking's sake, but it's actually so I can track how much time am I spending on specific buckets and specific projects. So record HQ video, let's say that took me 3 hours, we'll do 180 minutes. Redesigning banner, let's say that only took 40 minutes. And then go through comments, that's 20 minutes. So then here I can see today I worked in a total of 240 minutes. But the reason that I'm doing this is so I can actually see how much time am I spending on buckets and on projects. So I'll just tick these in because I've completed them. And then let's scroll down and we'll go to time track. So I'll open this up full screen. And then on here we can see time on buckets, business. I've spent 240 minutes. Hours is also showing up, converting it to hours. So 4 hours in total. Same thing for projects. I can see here specific projects. So go through comments wasn't on a specific project, but then this here headquarters template, I spent 3.6 hours on it. Obviously I spent more, this is an example. And then here we can also see it broken down by month. So this filter here is only showing me stuff in the past month in case I want to see, okay, the past month, where did my time go? Where was I allocating my time? I found this really helpful. I've been using it and I found out that I was spending way too much time on certain activities and not enough time on others. So I only found that out by using this system. All right, so we've talked about structuring your day, your month, your week, seeing your task list in order of importance. Let's talk about templates. So I've created a bunch of templates in here. So we've got habits, 3 of them, obviously create as many as you want. We've got journal, which is actually just blank, so I don't know what your daily journal looks like, but you can fill that in here. Then we've got a weekly and a monthly review, which I have filled in with a bunch of really good questions. And if you've seen the beta video, then keep watching because it's also changed. But before I break these down, let's talk about habits. So if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm not a fan of having habits as a separate database. It is part of your day. So as I always say, your day is your to-do list. I think the habits should be part of your to-do list. It shouldn't be in a separate thing that you have to check. As I mentioned in the beta walkthrough video, the whole idea of this template here, the headquarters, is that everything you need will be on this one page. You have quick access to specific workspaces if you require, and you can quickly access specific things like clicking on the life buckets and seeing the relevant stuff, but the whole idea is that everything you need is on this one page. A lot of templates just separate everything just to either bump up the price or to make things more difficult. I don't know why they do it. So it's better to have everything under the one place and make it easy for you. So let's add a habit. Let's click on new here, and then we'll click on open, and we can select here habit 1, 2, or 3. All of these habits are set up the same, but basically you can change these to be called whatever you want. So habit 1 you can rename to cold shower, habit 2 run, whatever you want. But as you can see, it automatically tags the urgency as habit. So that automatically comes up. And the reason that happens is you can then easily see all your habits on a habits page. So yes, you can access your habits on a separate page, but it's still playing part of your day, because your cold shower or your run or whatever it is, that habit is still part of your day. It's not a separate thing. You don't want to check all of these different pages to find the information. So just to show you how to change the name of the habit, just click on this and then go to any of these habits, click on the 3 dots, click on edit, and then you can change the name of the habit there. And if you want, you can also automatically set the importance, the state, the bucket, everything like that in here. So let's say this is running. You might then want the bucket to automatically be fitness. And let's say the project is you are doing a marathon. So then you can write marathon here, tick that in. So now every time you create this habit, so let's just go to next week, click on Monday, scroll down and you can see running here, click on that. And as you can see, it automatically tagged marathon, fitness, and habit. So now if I go on the fitness page, for example, let's scroll down. We'll go to fitness. Here we can see in this view, we're only seeing stuff related to fitness, and we're seeing this habit here of running. Super useful, everything is connected and works together. So before I get to the weekly review and the monthly review, let's just talk about this routine button. So I've added this since the beta. When you click on that, automatically habit 1, 2, and 3 gets added, and you can drag that to whenever you want. Now, as you can see, this added the old habits. So what we're going to want to do is create these habits once, and then we can add it to the routine. So habit 1 will be running, we'll say importance, important, flow, bucket, fitness, project, marathon. Habit 2, let's say cold shower, importance, not important, state, it's a quick one, bucket, fitness, no relevant project, and then let's say we just want 2. So I can just delete number 3, but obviously add that if you want. So once you've got the habits that you want to add to your routine, by the way, you can also add like normal tasks to the routine, then what we have to do is first move this button. So it's a weird thing in Notion, I don't know why it does this, but it won't actually, I'll just show you how it works. It won't actually let you add stuff to this if it's not on a separate line. So we'll move this to a separate line, click on the gear icon, and now we can add in running and cold shower. Click on done, and then we can move this back, just like that. So now when we click on routine, these 2 get added, and I can add that into my day. So that's how to add a routine, which was a new feature added since the beta video. Speaking of new features, I have added this page here called Family. So if we click on this, basically it's pretty simple. There is just a filter to only show stuff that is personal. So let's say on here we have football practice. You can put the urgency, importance, all of that, and then we'll keep the state as personal. So that automatically gets added because we're viewing it right now with that filter to only show personal stuff. All right, let's go through the timetable. So in the timetable here, basically, it's connected to your projects database, so you can click in here and then automatically you can see all of your projects come up. So as you click, you can create like a timetable for your week. Similar idea, we have it on the ideal schedule. However, this is different where you are seeing your ideal life activities. So here, when you click in, it's connected to this database here. So the idea of this page is more self-reflection. So you can kind of figure out, what do I want my week to look like? And write down all the ideal things you're doing and then schedule it out. And then you can see how close you are to your actual ideal life schedule. And then you know kind of what direction to go from there. All right, let's have a look at the weekly review and monthly review. So we'll click on plus here and select weekly review. I'll make this full screen. So basically we have these questions. Looking at my task list completed this week, do I feel like I accomplished enough? What were my biggest distractions this week? What are my biggest bottlenecks at the moment? What did I do this week that really helped move the needle? Change these items' importance to move the needle if they've had a big impact on your life. Looking at my habits this week, do I feel like I did enough? If so, what helped you stick to the habits? If not, what can you do to actually stick to the habits next week? So unlike 99% of journals, this actually works together with your databases. So as you're journaling, you can actually see the stuff in here. So let's start with what are the biggest bottlenecks at the moment. This is just a fancy way of saying what are the issues that I'm facing that's stopping me from progressing further. Hey, it's me from the future. I realized that I should create a template for bottlenecks as well. So that's why it looks different here. Basically, all you have to do, the instructions are here, but all you do is duplicate this template and then in the related projects property, add or create the relevant project. Now in the database on that page, change the filter and select that project, and then we can create any tasks to address this bottleneck. So I'll make this full screen. Let's say the issue is I'm not getting any subscribers. So we're going to create a new project. So this bottleneck is basically a new project. How do I get subscribers? So I'll type in get subscribers, and then in the database below, we're going to want to change this to where the checkbox is unticked and where the project contains, and then select our project. So for me, get subscribers. So basically the way to fix a bottleneck is A, by journaling about it and actually writing about it to try to figure it out and do some analysis. So you can do that in this space below. So here you'll start writing out and doing a bit of a deep dive into like the actual problem. And then from doing that, you can create tasks that are relating to it. So one thing I could do is create an animated subscribe button for videos. That's just an example, but basically the idea is that a bottleneck will most likely be connected to a project, or you can create a new project. And then to address that bottleneck, you'll need to do a specific set of tasks. And you'll figure out those tasks from journaling and writing it. So this is the dedicated space to do it, where you can write and journal and really figure out this one bottleneck's issues and how you're going to solve it through actionable steps. So what are the things that I did this week that helped move the needle? So basically move the needle is the Pareto principle or the 80-20 principle. The idea is that about 20% of the things that you do actually have a big impact on your life, and the other 80% don't. So the idea with this weekly review is to not just review it for the sake of reviewing it, but to actually understand, okay, where is my time going and what are the things that I'm doing that are having a big impact? I'm really passionate about this as it's really changed my life, understanding, oh, okay, when I do these types of activities, they have the biggest impact on my life. So here are all the tasks that I've completed this week. So basically there's a simple filter here where the task has to be done, obviously, it has to be in this week, and it's not a move the needle already. So here are all the tasks that I've done this week. So let's say the recording this video here, that actually had a really big impact on my life. It meant that I could actually sell my first paid template. So then what I'm going to do is click on here and change the importance from important to move the needle. As you can see, it's no longer here, but if we click to needles this week, here are all the things that have moved the needle this week. And the idea here is, over time, you're going to start building a list of all the things that have helped move the needle, and you can start picking up on patterns. We can see that full list on the Move the Needle page, which I'll get to later, but right here, we're just seeing the stuff that's moved the needle this week. So it might only be 1 or 2 things, it might be 10 things, it might be nothing. But basically, it's helping you actually reflect and understand, where is my time going and is it having an impact on my life? And then lastly, here we can see all the habits that you've done this week. So I just added running here, and then I can look back on my week. Did I actually stick to my habits? Why not? What made me stick to them? And I can do some reflection based on that. All right, let's have a look at the monthly review. I'll click on plus here, scroll down, click on monthly review, and then let's do this full page. So I'll scroll down, and these questions are quite similar. Go through the task list in the past month and select any items that you may have missed in the weekly review that you think moved the needle. These are the tasks that actually made a difference in your life. It's the same idea here as the other one, but instead of seeing the week, we're seeing the full month. Now go through the projects that you have finished. Often the things that actually move the needle or have had a real impact in your life come from finishing a project. If any of these helped move the needle, then change the status to move the needle. So let's say renovating the kitchen probably didn't move the needle or didn't have a big impact on my life, but let's say the website build had a really big impact. So then I can change the status from fave to move the needle. Most likely it's going to be projects that you've actually finished. So we'll click on move the needle, and here we can see website build. So seeing the tasks and the projects that you've finished that move the needle is just such a great reflection. Honestly, it has changed so much knowing what are the things that actually help me and what are the projects that I've done that have actually gotten me most of my important results. Hello, me from the future again. I've updated the monthly review to be the same thing. Basically, we have the instructions here. Basically, it works the same as before. You can just duplicate this template, or you can go up and press the new here, and we have the template there as well. And you can go through all your current bottlenecks and add to them by just clicking on them. And here you can see all the tasks related to this project. So for this one, it's get subscribers. So I put it in here, and then I can do all my journaling in here. So same thing as before, but also on this page. I just find it really useful to once a month go through all my bottlenecks and make sure, are they still a priority? Are there maybe a small problem? Have they been resolved? Can I archive them? Just a super helpful way to see that I'm actually progressing and making sure there's no major things that I have to address in order to actually fast track my progress. So that is the monthly review. Obviously, you can edit these and change them however you want. To do that, all you have to do is click on this, hover over one of these, click on the three dots and click edit. But let's stay on the topic of moving the needle. So if I scroll down here and click on move the needle, let's do this full width. On this page, I can see everything that's helped move the needle. I can see the moving the needle stuff just this month, and I can see a list of every single one of my tasks that I've completed. So if I didn't do a reflection that week or that month, I can still go in here, look through all my tasks, and then change stuff to move the needle. So if I thought that one run, for example, moved the needle, then I can change that there. Same thing goes for projects. Here we have all my projects and all the projects that have helped move the needle. Honestly, doing this reflection helps so much. The 80-20 principle or the Pareto principle, just a game changer. You need to know what are you doing that is actually helping you progress. All right, we're almost at the end. So another thing is we have the habit tracker. On this page, as you can see every single habit that you've done, and it's showing up here. So the journals and all of the habits that you've been doing, whether it's done or not. That way you can see, cool, I plan to go on a run on Monday, and then you can see, okay, maybe I'm planning on this day and this day. It's just a really useful way to plan it out and track your progress. You can also click on here and do habits by bucket and then see the amount of times that you've done it. So here we can see fitness, the count is 1. But as you've seen from my previous videos, I don't recommend too much actually tracking these numbers, but I put it in here just for those that do want to see it. Then we have this page called Open Loops. It's not my idea, but the idea is basically that you don't get a lot of ROI, so return on investment, from not finishing a project or a task. So here we can see all your unfinished projects and all your unfinished tasks. The long story short is basically it can be quite difficult to go to sleep or to work on other projects whilst your mind is trying to figure out all these open loops, all these things that you haven't actually finished but they're in the back of your mind. So having a place that you can open and you can see all of this stuff actually really helps. Then you know, oh, you know what, I'm actually fine with renovating the kitchen, the headquarters template is going to come out, all of this stuff, you know what, it's fine. That way you can feel more at ease because you can see everything that's going on and it's not just this vague mess in your brain that you're trying to figure out, have I done this stuff, am I falling behind, what's going on? Here we have the Bottlenecks page, so this is all the stuff that's coming in from the journal, but it's its own dedicated space to it. We can see all these instructions if you need it, and we can still work in here, duplicate, do all the stuff that we were doing in the journal. But if you just don't want to do it in a journal, you just want to go onto this page, you can do that. Plus on this page, you can also search by archived and resolved in case you want to go back and look at any previous bottlenecks. And then the last workspace to talk about is the mobile HQ. So if we open this up, do full screen, the idea here is that this page is actually bookmarked or it's a widget on your phone. So on your phone, most likely you won't actually be doing too much work, but we still want to have quick access to all the important things. So here we can easily create a task, we can add a quick task, all of that stuff, add a quick note, add a resource. So once you're going about your day and you think of a quick note that you want to take, you can easily do that. You can also see all the tasks for your day. So here are all the uncompleted ones and here are all the completed ones. It's just got a different view on here. We're seeing it as a gallery just because that works better on the phone. And then underneath here, we can see all your uncompleted projects. As you're going about, you might be thinking about your projects and stuff, and then you can quickly see all of that stuff here. Cool, that is the mobile HQ page. Super useful, just having a different view for the phone. It's just more practical and more efficient. All right, the last thing to talk about is the life buckets. I'll go over this very quickly, but basically we have the journal with all the journal entries from the daily ones, the weekly ones, and the monthly ones. We can see all the tasks completed this week, and we can see all of our habits, just in case we need reference to these whilst we're doing daily journals. Then the admin, fitness, business, relationship, and family and friends page are all set up the same. So I'll just click on the admin here. Basically, we're just seeing things that are related to admin on the tasks, on the notes, and on the projects. So it's the same idea for all of these pages. Fitness, you're just seeing fitness stuff. You're just seeing fitness notes and fitness projects. Obviously, you can add all of these as you want. And as I mentioned before, all you have to do is right click on template, duplicate, and then here, whatever you type in, let's say blah, then basically, as you can see, the filter automatically changes to blah. So I recommend keeping this template here as it makes it really easy. But as I established before, you can just click on new, and then we have this new bucket template, and then you just have to change those filters. Then on the study page here, it's the same as the others. We have the tasks, we have the notes, we have the projects, but we also have all your courses and a timetable here. So the timetable here is connected to your courses. So as you add in courses here, that will be connected to this timetable. So then let's say you're studying and you want quick access to this. Let's just make this full page. What you can do is click on the star at the top here. And as you can see, it shows up here on your favorites in the side panel. That way you have quick access to it and you don't have to click in every single time, but everything is still working together and it's all connected. I'll just unfavorite this, go back to the headquarters. Career, I've left blank. I didn't know what to put here because everyone's career is different. However, for the job page, it is slightly different to the other pages, so I'll make this full width. Basically here we're seeing your day view, your week view, all tasks completed, and the full month. So very similar to the actual headquarters dashboard. Here we have uncompleted work jobs and all task jobs. This is being sorted by urgency and importance. Then here we can see all your projects that are related to your work, and all the projects that are done, also just relating to your work. And then once again, quick notes. And like the study page, this can be very useful to add to your favorites. So let's go to headquarters. Thank you so much for watching. That is the full tour of the headquarters template. As you can see, it really is a powerhouse for productivity. It keeps you organized, productive, and motivated. I've combined all of my favorite productivity techniques into one ultimate dashboard that really is set up for you to succeed. Thank you again so much for watching. The link is in the description. And thank you in advance if you purchase it. It just means the world. Thank you.